Hello everyone, welcome to Wicked West Books. My name is Meg West, and today I am setting up my reading journal for the year of 2026. This was a blackout journal, except that they're blue pages that I got from Walmart when they went on clearance a few months ago, and it's something that I really wanted to work with. Now, the first issue, of course, with any notebook is that irritating paper that just doesn't want to open all the way. I saw people online turn it into a pocket, so that is what I did here, and I underestimated just how much damage cutting that out would do, so I covered up that mistake with some washi tape. Hi. Yeah. So the first thing that I set up here is the key. I saw Joshi Curran set up a grid on how she was going to do her ratings for this year, and I thought that sounded like a great plan. So I used her idea, but I adapted it to the cat. I adapted it to a format that would fit my very astronomy-based reading journal. So on the left, we have the symbols for gold, fire, water, air, earth, and lead. And then across the top, we have a grade rating for the books themselves, for the actual writing. And on the reverse side of the key, we have the key that will be for my library page, my bookshelfy spread. And for this, we have gold is representing my physical books, pink is representing an ebook, purple for audiobook, and because I've been borrowing a lot from the library, we have two colors for Libby, which is the bronzy orange and silver. And I just threw some decoration onto this. I was not very particular about how it looks on the backside of this key so much. I will be using it, but it's not a feature that needs to be like particularly attractive to me having it. The front of the key is pretty enough, so the backside wasn't super important to me. And of course, opposite the key page, we have the title page. I found a font that I liked on Pinterest, and I did my best to just kind of copy it all out and hopefully use it to kind of bring some cohesion throughout the entire reading journal. And once I was done with the lettering, it was time to put some decoration. A lot of people use this front page to really set up the tone for the rest of the book journal. It's not exactly what I would want it to be. Those stickers in particular, I didn't particularly like the way that they looked, and I probably won't use them for most of the rest of the book. I did use a couple more during the setup of one of my spreads, but the fact that they're so obviously meant to be on white paper just makes them kind of look weird on the blue paper. I also filmed this bit with the camera zoomed in more than I wanted it to be. And now my cat has so much to say. I know. The next page, of course, is the book log. I set up some Dutch doors, as you saw, made sure that I had some consistency on my lettering there, and yeah, I know. I am doing this voiceover in one take, so I hope you guys enjoy hearing from my cat the entire time. For the months, I picked out the metallic gel pens that I am using and just kind of used them in a repeating pattern throughout because I really like that the way they look. I pulled in some decorations that were put in the front of the journal and ones that I will reuse later in the journal. I had some paper that was just perfect to fit this theme, so when I had this notebook in mind to do, I used a lot of stuff that I already owned and just asked my husband if he could pick up any washi tape that would fit this from Michael's, and he did find a few rolls, so they get scattered throughout. This book log is just for me to keep track of the books themselves as I read them throughout the year. I'm going to put them under the month that they are, and there will be decorations that I put down at the bottom. It's just a standard book log page so that I can keep track of the books that I read this year. For this next page, we have the bookshelfie. This bookshelfie is going to be like very white to start out with because, you know, it's the color that shows up best on these pages. And I'm going to color them in to match the key that I have in the front of my book for the books that I read. I did intend for this setup to have 100 books, and then I miscounted and I thought I was missing 2, so I added 2 more, and then I counted that I had it correct the first time. So there's actually 102 books drawn out for these bookshelves, but it's not so much I'm going to force myself to get to that reading count goal, just a keeping track of how many books I read for the year. This gel pen is UV reactive, so it does glow when I shine that light on it in the color that is on the cap. My cat is getting into things. This next page is the year in pixels setup. I am actually setting up 2, and I am not going to make you watch me draw all of those lines. I will cut here just a second. There we go. And I am doing 2 because one of these is for reading and the other one is for my only actual goal this year for something new, which is I want to write a book. It doesn't have to be published, but it does have to be finished and preferably at least edited one time. And the reading side is going to be color-coded the same as the bookshelfie, which is why I wanted it right next to it so that you can kind of match the books to the month that they're read in a little bit easier without having to flip all around. And the writing one, I'm not sure how I'm going to color code that, honestly. I might just pick a color a month and color it in, and that's just for anything that involves writing the book, whether that is taking, for instance, Brandon Sanderson's writing course that he put online for free last year, or actual planning and plotting, all the way through writing and anything else that is necessary in order for me to write this book. Now this next spread is something that is brand new to me. I haven't done this one before, and I'm not exactly sure how I really want to do this, but this is the page for Tetris genre Tetris, wherein I've assigned a Tetris block to the main genres that I read, and I'm wanting to fill this out. I just don't know if I want to do it one genre a book, or if a book has multiple genres, if I put in a piece for each genre of the book. And I also probably will have some tip-ins for this one so that I can keep going with the Tetris once it's filled up the page. And apparently my cat has some feelings about that. Come here. Come here. Well, come here. On the next page is my A to Z tracker. It is another challenge that I have not done before, but I intend to try to do this year. And I am going to be doing it by author's last name. And the rule for this, for myself, that I have set, of course, is that I can only use authors that I have not read from before. He really wants out, but I am not opening the door yet. He just flopped for me. He really just wants out of the room. He's so cute. Anyway, this next spread is Book of the Month, wherein I am going to put my highest rated book for each month in just its same spread so that I can keep track of the ones that I really like. That is some major cuteness that is going on. Not on camera, I'm so sorry. I tried last year, I set up a bracket for this, and it was really just way too much. So this year I toned it down a lot so that it would just be one picture for each book. And I do have printouts for each one. I've got the size planned, so they will all fit within those brackets, and it's going to look a whole lot more decorative once those book covers are actually pasted into the book. And then this next one is a spread that I haven't seen anyone else do. I'm not sure how often other people who are into books go to book signings just because they want a new signed book, even if maybe they're not super interested in the book just for the experience of it. But it's one of my favorite things to do, is to go to book signings and just come home with a brand new book that I got to listen to the author talk about the book. So I've set up a couple of little shelf spaces for me to put the books that I acquire this year under this category, and I can just see which ones I got during the year. It's not like the most impressive spread, but it's one that I think I will actually get some use out of, and so it's there. Now this part, I am taking a stencil of my stars and just kind of filling in any spaces that I want to. It's another way for me to make the spread a little more cohesive across all of the different pages. And just, add a little bit of extra decoration in an attempt, because I'm not the biggest fan of this front page, but if it's shiny, that's good enough, right? I thought it was kind of funny to put those stars in a little Tetris shape. And in addition to the fact that this is late, I also put in my January setup for this. I used a wrapping paper. This is the wrapping paper that I wrapped my sister's presents in, and I liked working with it so much. It's so pretty and shiny that I had to put it in this reading journal as my little wallpaper page. On the right, I am setting up a little calendar. I will keep track of how long it takes me to read books across it, and it's just a good little visual representation of that. I also will put in a little YouTube symbol every time I post a video to YouTube as a way to track what I am doing with those. And because this journal is astrology themed, I made sure to use a lot of the Capricorn astrology to set it up in the symbols, and you'll see in a second there's the constellation for Capricorn. Yes, you are cute. You are very cute. He really just wants to be let out, but there's not much left to this video, so I think we'll tough it out. We'll listen to him yell at me. This is some of my process for figuring out how things are going to lay together. I had no plans put together going into it. I just like to put a quote on my front page for each month, and I again wasn't sure how to do that for this setup, but I ended up looking up Capricorn authors and picking a quote from one of them, the author being Donna Tartt, and it says, "It is better to know one book intimately than 100 superficially." There is the font that I am copying for this book. And that was me just making sure that they got their little stars put on. And now that we are done with that final page, we're going to go back to the beginning and just kind of do a flip through of everything that I have put together for this book. We of course have my key, which is nicely removable from the pocket, which I will put anything in that pocket that I need to for the rest of the year. We've got my book log. I decided there needed one more star in there. Oh, more than just one. Just to fill a little bit more space. Had to blow on it to make sure it was dry before we turned some more pages. We have my Tetris and A to Z authors. There's the Book of the Month challenge and a page for me to put newly signed books. We have a couple blank pages just in case I find something else I want to put there, and my January setup. Ready for the year to come. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will hopefully post more videos. Have a wicked day.